question 4 has asked us to sketch a graph, and it's given us a quadratic in completed square form. So how do we cope with drawing quadratics like this? Well, we should know that if you've got a quadratic in completed square form, that the vertex, which is the turning point, is given by the negative of this number and this number. The a doesn't get involved in the value of the turning point, so we can straight away say that the turning point is going to be at -1, 2. We also know that it's a negative quadratic, so we know the shape of the graph is going to be like this. So something like that. I'm going to draw that much neater in a minute, but that's the kind of thing we're expecting to see. The half is going to make it look shallower than the average quadratic, but because it's a sketch and you're not comparing it to anything else, the half's not really going to get involved in the shape of the curve as you draw it. It's just going to affect the intercepts. So don't worry too much about making it look like a shallow x² graph. So moving on to finding the intercepts of the axes, we need the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. So the x-intercepts come when y is equal to 0. So if we set this quadratic equal to 0, and solve that quadratic, we will get the places on the x-axis that the graph crosses. So to solve this, I'm going to move the 2 to the other side, the +2 to the other side. I'm going to times by -2 to get rid of this. So that's going to become +4. I'm going to square root both sides, which means this will be 2 or -2. And then I'm going to take away 1. So if I take away 1 from here, I get 1. Take away 1 from here, I get -3. So we now have the x-intercepts as well as the turning point. So we've got a turning point roughly here somewhere. We've got it crossing at -3 roughly here and 1 here. So we could probably draw that now. That's not great. Let me have one more go. So I'm trying to get this turning point looking at roughly -1, 2. Mine's a bit flat, but you'll be able to draw that much better than I can on this software. We've got that this is 1, we've got this is -3. The last thing we need to find is this value here, and that's the y-intercept. And we always know that the y-intercept takes place when x is equal to 0. So if we substitute 0 into here, we get -1/2 times 1 squared, which is just 1, plus 2. So -1/2 plus 2 is 3/2. So 3/2 there. The x-intercept, the turning point, I think I've covered everything. So that's the kind of shape that you're aiming for with all those values displayed on your graph.